Like, I totally understand why people look at this and go, like, this is a bad omen. Sometimes there's just an accident that takes plays where it's just, obviously there's not enough information at this point to explain exactly what's going on. But yeah, it's like the story in Japan about the 70-year-old truck driver that fell into the sinkhole because the sinkhole opened up as the truck was making a left turn at the intersection. All right, let's get to the real news now.
Crash, a medical transport jet carrying 6 people crashing into a busy neighborhood, exploding into a fireball overnight. Here right now is a live look over the area where you can see that massive debris field. This is thanks to our station, WPVI's helicopter, where you can just see that debris littered around the street where there are businesses and homes nearby. The extent of the damage is extensive. ABC's Stephanie Ramos joins us live there now. Good morning to you, Stephanie. You came from D.C., stopped in Philly just after we learned about this plane crash last night.
That's right, Janae. And in that medical jet coming down in this northeast Philadelphia neighborhood like a lawn dart. No one on board survived, and several people on the ground were injured.
That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all.
Overnight, a massive inferno in northeast Philadelphia after a medical transport jet crashed into a residential neighborhood.
The plane just crashed into the plaza. I just saw a plane basically just hit the buildings, and just an explosion happened, and I just seen the sky light up.
Chilling surveillance video capturing the moment it happened. You can see an explosive fireball in the night sky before the jet plummeted to the ground.
Keep moving! Keep moving!
All black smoke covering everything. The houses ended up catching on fire down there, and there was plane pieces everywhere.
The small plane, a jet rescue air ambulance, carrying a pediatric patient, her mother, and 4 crew members, according to the company. The child had just received care from a children's hospital in Philadelphia. All 6 on board, heading back to their home country of Mexico, with a stop in Springfield, Missouri. The jet taking off from northeast Philadelphia airport shortly after 6 p.m., crashing just moments later. Dramatic images capturing the fiery aftermath of the crash, a massive blaze in the streets, buildings and vehicles engulfed in flames. First responders and emergency vehicles rushing to the scene.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here. You can see police vehicles set up all around this area. They've set up a massive perimeter stretching blocks in each direction.
Stanley James III was in the parking lot as happened.
As we looking around, like literally the whole parking lot is shaking. It was like a train wreckage, like maybe like a real loud, bad car accident almost or something.
The cause of the crash is still unclear. The NTSB is now leading the investigation. Members of the FAA also arriving on the scene overnight, along with Governor Josh Shapiro.
Tonight, we also saw the best of Philly. We saw neighbor helping neighbor. We saw Pennsylvanians looking out for one another.
And guys, this area is a densely populated residential neighborhood packed with row homes. Many of them caught fire. Residents right now are being urged to stay out of this area for now. Gio.
Just unbelievable to have 2 major crashes back to back like this, just days apart. Stephanie, thank you for your overnight reporting.
I genuinely don't know what to say about this story. Like, I totally understand why people look at this and go, like, this is a bad omen. Sometimes there's just an accident that takes plays where it's just, obviously there's not enough information at this point to explain exactly what's going on. But yeah, it's like the story in Japan about the 70-year-old truck driver that fell into the sinkhole because the sinkhole opened up as the truck was making a left turn at the intersection. You know what I mean? Like, what do I say about it? What can I say about this? This is just like a thing that happened, and I have no idea how. And especially with its closeness to the previous insane freak accident. Like, yeah, it was crazy. A sinkhole swallowed a truck driver in Japan. It's expanding, and the residents are worried. Yeah. In Saitama, about 18 miles north of Japan's capital, opened up swallowing 3-ton truck and its driver, a 74-year-old man, prompting a rescue mission. Now in its 4th day. The inside is gouging and is getting bigger every day, the official from Saitama Prefecture's Sewerage Works Division said. Dude, I don't understand how sinkholes work at all. Like, that's definitely a thing that weirds me out. There's 1,000 of these sorts of crashes a year from what I understand. They don't normally get as much coverage, so I wonder if this is a result of his proximity. No, this is... No. There are small plane crashes and incidents such as this one that take place, but usually it's not a fiery inferno, okay? And it doesn't crash directly into the middle of a populated area, okay? 7 people died, and the plane directly slammed into the middle of the plane slammed into the middle of a crowded neighborhood. Here's the impact crater it created. It's an air ambulance. That's unique. And it's an air ambulance that crashed on top of a crowded Philadelphia neighborhood.
So a little bit about the flight itself. The flight originated at Opelika, Florida, yesterday afternoon about 12 p.m. The aircraft arrived at Northeast Philadelphia Airport around 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon. It was on the ground for a few hours and departed runway 24 at about 6. It was, like we said, it was dark at the time and instrument conditions. The aircraft climbed to about 1,500 feet above the ground. We were looking at GPS data on the aircraft, a slight right turn followed by a slight left turn, and then a steep descent towards the ground where it crashed. The entire flight lasted less than a minute.
This morning, salvage ships preparing to expand their work on the Potomac River in Washington, with barges en route to begin what officials called the main lifting.
I believe for us to recover the rest of the remains that we are going to need to get the fuselage out of the water.
At least 41 of the 67 victims have now been recovered from the wreckage of the Army Black Hawk helicopter and American Airlines regional plane that collided Wednesday night. Investigators also say the black boxes from both...
I mean, dude, the plane was on fire as it nosedived. Then not this one, the previous plane accident. Like, I don't think that's... I don't think you can say DEI or even air traffic control for that one, you know?
Aircraft are now at the NTSB lab after they were recovered from 2 distinct debris fields in the river.
And we have a high level of confidence that we will be able to get a full download in the very near future.
Meanwhile, new video, which first aired on CNN, offers a clearer view of the mid-air crash, as President Trump again said the Army chopper was flying too high.
The Black Hawk was too high. It was above the 200 limit by double. It shouldn't have been there.
Investigative sources tell NBC News the helicopter may have been flying at 350 to 400 feet when it crashed into the plane. And the tower typically has one controller focusing on planes and a second on helicopters. But Wednesday night, only one person was overseeing both at the time of the collision, after a supervisor allowed one controller to leave early, although that is allowed by FAA guidelines. On any given day, some 100 helicopters fly near Reagan National Airport, many of them military flights. The AP uncovering scores of reports of near misses and warnings in D.C. airspace over the last 2 decades. The day before the crash, another regional jet aborted its landing after receiving a cockpit warning of helicopter traffic.
4514, what was the reason for the go-around?
We had an RA with the helicopter traffic below us, Brickyard 4514.
Meanwhile, the FAA announcing on Friday it's restricting helicopter traffic around the airport to all but emergency responders, clearing the air while investigators work below.
Our job is to just come out with the probable cause, but then more importantly, make recommendations so that this type of tragedy never occurs again.
Now, the NTSB also confirmed that controller interviews are underway as they really ramp up their fact-finding work here. We also know that yesterday the NTSB gave a second briefing to more than 100 victim family members who are now in the area. Laura?
Hearts go out to them, of course. Aaron, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Finally getting woke out of media. Oh, yeah, I saw this. But the chance of it crashing in the road and not a building or something are almost 0% if it's such a densely populated neighborhood, right? It's not. And I mean, it's definitely not 0%. But that also leads me to at least speculate that he might have directed it deliberately into like a street or something. Like as in to avoid further casualties. Does that make sense? Like, there is a possibility. It's not, I don't think it's like super, I don't know enough. I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough to tell you with 100% certainty whether or not he deliberately maneuvered the plane in Philadelphia directly onto the road in an effort to avoid the houses. But did you watch the Hasan Piker head planter TikTok? No. Can someone send it? Many people have sent me this. Lolo sent it to me this morning too. I've only seen the thumbnail. Can someone link it in the chat? Is this it?
Making a Hasan Piker head planter. First, I made the 3D model from photos of him I found online. I have such a crush on Hasan Piker. Then I 3D printed him and hand painted him. Sometimes I wish Hasan Piker was my dad.
Oh my God.
I went socialist just so he would notice me.
This is...
Can't forget the glasses.
This is amazing.
If you like my work, check out my Etsy shop in my bio.
Oh my God. That is amazing. Better eyebrows too. Okay, chill. Yeah, it's got my old eyebrows. I don't even know. I don't got this kind of glazed work in me, Unc. Trump just recently signed an executive order to start a trade war with Canada, Mexico, and China. Can you touch on any of the reasons he gave this executive order? Yes, he wants the American economy to collapse. Okay, all jokes aside, we'll get to that in a second. Don't worry.